the previous class we have seen that how to use the abstract keyword and why the abstract keyword is used. The abstract keyword is used to enforce some rules on the subclasses. We are enforcing that if you want, if my rectangle wants to be qualified as a shape, then it should provide some implementation for calculated area. Such kind of rules can be enforced while development using abstract keyword. Okay, a method can be abstract. A method can be abstract if it doesn't have any body. A method can be abstract if it doesn't have any body. Vice versa, if a method has a body, it should not be abstract. If a method has a body, it should not be abstract. If a method doesn't have a body, it should be abstract. Okay? And if at least one abstract method is there in the class, then the class should be abstract. If at least one abstract method is there in the class, then the class should be abstract. That's what we have discussed yesterday. Okay? Today we will discuss some more things about the abstractions. Now, yesterday what we have discussed is, okay, even the abstract methods will be inherited to the subclasses, and overriding the abstract method is called as implementation. Overriding the abstract method is called as implementation. Okay? Now, if you override the abstract method, all the overriding rules should be satisfied. Even if you override the abstract method, all the overriding rules should be satisfied. Now, if I keep like this, will it be compiled? Will it be compiled? Just see whether it will be compiled or not. If we have listened to the yesterday's class, you might not have taken this much time. Okay? See, it will not be compiled just because the class MyShape is abstract, and this abstract method will be inherited from MyShape to MyRectangle. Now, this abstract method will be as it is inherited from MyShape to MyRectangle. Now, did I implement the abstract method in the MyRectangle? No. Did I make the class as abstract? Did I make the class as abstract? No. We have two possibilities. Either we can make the class as abstract, or we need to implement the abstract method. See, logically seeing, this abstract method will be inherited from here to here. This class has an abstract method. If a class has at least one abstract method, then the whole class should be abstract. So, this class should be made abstract. Now, if I make the class as abstract, will it be compiled successful? If I make the class as abstract, will it be compiled successful? Yes? Yes or no? Yes? Again yes? Just see once again. Okay? This will not be compiled just because we have created an object to MyRectangle. We can never create an object to abstract class. It's impossible to create an object to abstract class. It's telling that my rectangle is abstract, so it cannot be instantiated. See, we have two possibilities. We can make the class as abstract, or we can implement the method. Okay, the first possibility, if we make the class as abstract, what happens? We cannot create the object to the subclass. Second possibility, if we implement the method, then we can create the object. Based on the requirement, if you want to make the class as abstract, we can make the class as abstract. If you want to implement the method, and if you want to remove the abstract keyword in the class, that's okay. Then I'll follow the second approach. I can implement the method. Now it will be compiled as well as executed successfully. Okay, just because now from the superclass myShape, okay, a abstract method is inherited and that abstract method is overridden. Okay, now if I make like this, will it compile successful? Sorry. Now will it be compiled successful? Will it be compiled successfully? No. Why it will not be compiled? Why it will not be compiled means even implementation will check for all the overriding rules. What we are doing? We are trying to implement. Okay, method name is calculate area and list of arguments is 0. Here also the method name is calculate area and list of arguments is 0. So it will initiate the process of implementation. Just because it is abstract method. Now while implementing also, we check what is the result. Primitive, the same. Then what is the access level? Here public and here package. It's decreased. So it will be the compartment. So even while implementation, it will check all the overriding rules. Okay. So this will not be compiled. Just in my rectangle cannot override calculate area something. Okay. It tells that the calculate area method is not correctly overridden. So we should give public. Now, will it be compiled? Yes or no? Definitely yes. Just because in the superclass the access level is default or package. In the subclass method the access level is public. It can be increased, but it should not be decreased. No. Will it be compiled? No. Why it will not be compiled? I have already implemented calculate area. Will it be compiled or not? It will not be compiled. Just because all the abstract methods which are non-private will be inherited to the subclasses. All the abstract methods which are non-private will be inherited to the subclasses. So here in this class, okay, we have two abstract methods inherited. See, these two methods will be inherited from the superclass. Now, did I implement these two methods in the subclass? Did I correctly implement these two abstract methods in the subclass? No. Only the first method is implemented. Did I implement the second method? No. So since the first method is correctly implemented, let me remove this. Now, in this situation, do we have any abstract method in the class? Do we have any abstract method in this class? Yes or no? Yes. So this will not be compiled. Just because the class myRectangle has one abstract method which is inherited but not implemented. If the abstract method is inherited but not implemented, we have two possibilities. Either make the class as abstract or either implement the method. If the abstract method is implemented to a subclass, then we have only two possibilities, either to implement that method or to make the class as abstract. Okay? Implementing also will check the overriding rules. Implementing will check the overriding rules. Implementation is the process of overriding of abstract methods. Okay? So now let me make the class as abstract. Now will it be compiled? I have made the class as abstract. No? It will not be compiled? Why? We have defined a method in the abstract class. Okay, that's fine. Next. Where we are calling? Okay. Sorry, let me remove this. It caused the confusion. Now will it be compiled? Yes? Perfect? Just give 1 second. It will never be compiled. This .java file will never be compiled. Just because we have two classes extending to my shape. One is myRectangle and second one is myCircle. So if we consider myRectangle, it has two abstract methods inherited. One is implemented and one is not implemented. But I have made the class as abstract and I am not creating an object for this class, so it will be compiled. See, two abstract methods are inherited. One is calculate area, calculate perimeter. Calculate area is implemented, calculate perimeter is not implemented. Since I have one abstract method here, I have made the class as abstract. That's fine. This will be compiled. But come here. My circle extends to my shape, so two abstract methods, calculate area and calculate perimeter are inherited. But how many abstract methods are implemented? One. How many abstract are still there? One. Since I have one abstract class, did I make the class as abstract? No. So that will not be compiled. It's not because of myRectangle, it's because of my circle. Okay? So all the classes extending to abstract class should have an implementation, or otherwise it will be a compiled method. Still, like as a myCircle, it doesn't override the abstract method. So in a subclass, the abstract methods will be inherited from superclasses to subclass, and in the subclass, if it doesn't have an implementation, then definitely it should be abstract. Definitely the class should be abstract. We have two possibilities. Either we can implement the method inherited from the superclass, or we can make the class as abstract. Definitely abstract methods will be as it is inherited to the subclasses. Then if you want to compile, then we have two possibilities, either to implement that abstract method inherited from the superclass, or we need to make the class as abstract. If we make the class as abstract, definitely we cannot create the object. So based on the requirement, if you want to implement, we need to implement. If you don't want to implement, then make the class as abstract. Understood? Then Just I'm trying to implement. Two into a plus b is a sorry is 2 pi r is the formula for perimeter. So now will it be compiled successful? Let me think that. 'Just in system.println I am putting s.calculate perimeter. Then what is the value printed? Now will it be compiled and executed successful? Just see what is the superclass, what is the subclass, is there any abstract method in the superclass, and is there any abstract method in the subclass? If there is any abstract method, was it properly implemented or not? If it was not properly implemented, are we keeping the abstract for the subclasses? If we keep the abstract for subclasses, are we creating the object for subclass or not? All these things you need to consider in abstraction. Okay? Now, just tell the answer by considering all these things. Just you can make it a note like all non-abstract members are considered to be concrete members. All non-abstract members are referred to be concrete members. All non-abstract members are referred to be concrete members. Concrete method, concrete class, like that. All non-abstract members are referred to be concrete members. And one more thing is, only class and method can be abstract. Attributes and constructors cannot be abstract. Only class and methods can be abstract. Attributes and constructors cannot be abstract. Now, just see here and tell the answer. Just we have told several rules for abstraction. Just follow all the rules. Even just now I have listed all the rules. Follow the rules, see the application, and verify the rules whether it will be compile the error or not. If it is not to compile the error, then tell the output. All of you good? What is abstraction? How the abstract keyword will work? Everybody? I'm seeing many black faces, so that I was confused. Huh? It will compile? It will definitely compile. Okay? Just because if you see this my shape, it is abstract, have two methods, calculate area, calculate perimeter. And this calculate area, calculate perimeter will be inherited from my shape to my rectangle. And in the my rectangle class, what I have done is I have implemented calculate area, but I have not implemented calculate perimeter. So I have made the class as abstract. So since just because one abstract method is not implemented. Since we have one abstract method in the class, we have made the class as abstract. Now come to my circle, which extends to my shape. Even it has two abstract methods, calculate area, calculate perimeter. Now, did I implement calculate area correctly? Did I implement calculate perimeter correctly? So it's not required to make the class as abstract. So am I creating the object to my rectangle or my circle? Circle. If I create the object to my rectangle, will it be possible? No. Okay. Since my circle is concrete, I can create the object to a concrete class. Okay. And here, what I am doing is s dot calculate perimeter will calculate the perimeter. 2 into pi into radius. Radius is 10. 20 into 3.14. Okay. Sum 62.8. Okay. That will be the answer. So that's how we need to analyze the examples. My circle? Spelling was wrong. Where? In the class my circle, what happened? Huh? Here? Light there. I can paste. Otherwise, I'll remove. So, some 62.8 something. Okay. Now, in the main method I have nothing. Now I want to know whether it will be compiled or not. No. Will it be compiled? Okay. A very important thing is, okay, if at least one method in the class is abstract, definitely the class should be abstract. If at least one method in the class is abstract, definitely the class should be abstract. But a concrete class, an abstract class can have 100% concrete members. A concrete class cannot have abstract members. A concrete class cannot have abstract members. Just because if at least one abstract method is there, then class will be abstract. But a abstract class can contain 100% concrete members. Abstract class can contain 100% concrete members. Abstract class can contain 100% concrete members. Now, if the class is abstract, If the class is abstract, is it required to have at least one abstract method? If the class is made as abstract, is it required to have at least one abstract method? No, it's not required. A class can have abstract keyword even without having abstract methods. A class can have abstract keyword even without having abstract members. Now a big question is, why? Why abstract keyword is used if the members of the class are not abstract? See, if a member of a class is abstract, to tell that the class, one member of the class is abstract, we use the abstract keyword. That's fine here. But why abstract keyword is used if members of the class are not abstract?
We will not create the object that we can, then we have to make the classes abstract.
Okay, that's correct. For any reason, if you want to restrict the object creation for any class, whatever the reason it might be, as well technical or design reasons or whatever the reasons it might be, okay, if you want to restrict the object creation for a class, even it doesn't have abstract members, we make the classes abstract. Only one reason when we make the classes abstract, even it doesn't have any abstract members, means if you want to restrict the object creation for the class. For any reason, if you want to restrict the object creation for the class, then even if it has 100% concrete members, we make the classes abstract. For any reason, if you want to restrict the object creation for the class, even the class has 100% concrete members, we make the classes abstract. Now what my intention is, I want to restrict the object creation for my circle. Then what I can do, I have only one possibility, that I should make the classes abstract even it has all concrete members. All the members are concrete. Okay? Now how many members are there in the my circle class? How many members are there in the my circle class? 4? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and another constructor which is created by the compiler. A constructor also will be there which is created by the compiler. Totally after compilation 5 members will be there. Okay, 2 attributes, 2 methods, 1 constructor which is created by the compiler. Now constructors and attributes cannot be abstract. Constructors and attributes cannot be abstract. Why a constructor cannot be abstract? Some of the interviewers will be asking this question. We have already discussed why a constructor should not be static. Did we discuss why a constructor should not be static?
Because it contains all specific logic.
That's what the reason that we discussed already. But did we discuss why a constructor should not be abstract? No. Just tell the reason. Analyze the things and tell the reason. Analyze the things about the abstract. Analyze the rules about the abstract and tell the answer. Why a constructor should not be abstract?
When they create a constructor instance, when we create object, they can create it. Then they can't make that.
That's not the exact reason.
Actually, abstract is they are enforcing that abstract. But I can going to abstract means they are only that class. That class only.
Okay.
Only enforcement people
That's 95% correct. But you should tell the reason in a very short and straight format. The only reason is constructors will not be inherited to the subclasses. See, since method is inherited to the subclass, we can write the definition of the abstract method in a subclass. But the constructor is not inherited to the subclasses. Then the constructor is not inherited to the subclasses and the constructor is abstract. Where will write the definition for the constructor? For that reason, constructor will not be abstract. For that reason, constructor cannot be abstract. If it is a method, it will be inherited to the subclasses, and in the subclass methods, we can write the definition for the method. But for constructors, that is not possible, just because constructors will not be inherited to the subclasses. And there itself, we should write the definition for the constructors. So, if we write a definition, then it should not be abstract. For that reason, constructors cannot be abstract. Constructors cannot be abstract just for a reason that they will not be inherited to the subclasses. Understood? Why constructors should not be abstract? If constructor is abstract means it should have some definition in some of the subclasses, but constructors will not be inherited to the subclasses. So, at the time of constructor declaration itself, we should give the definition. So, if we give the definition or the body, we should not keep abstract. So, constructors should not be abstract. Now, can I have abstract keyword for concrete method? Can I have an abstract keyword for concrete method? Can I have abstract keyword for concrete methods? It's impossible. Concrete methods should not have abstract keyword. Concrete methods should not have abstract keyword. See, for a method, either we should have abstract keyword or we should have definition. If we have definition, then it will be called as a concrete method. But concrete methods should not have abstract keyword. For methods, either we should keep abstract keyword or we should keep definition. But both is not possible. Both the things are not possible. Okay? We should not give abstract keyword for concrete methods. If the method has some definition, then we should not keep the method as abstract. If the method has some definition, then we should not make the method as abstract. Otherwise it will be a compile time error. Now this will be a compile time error just because we have made the method as abstract, but there is a definition for the method. It clearly tells, the error clearly tells that abstract methods cannot have a body. Abstract methods should not have a method body or method definition. So, if there is abstract keyword for a method which has a definition, then it will be a compile time error. Now, will it be compiled successful? Will it be compiled successful? Will it be compiled successful? Definitely it will not be compiled. Just because abstract class is there MyShape, which has two abstract methods, calculate area, calculate perimeter. Among those, how many methods are implemented here? One method. Okay, so since one method is not implemented, we have made the abstract class. The class is abstract. Now, another rectangle extends to my rectangle. Now, in my rectangle, do we have an abstract method? In my rectangle, do we have an abstract method? Yes. It's not directly there in the my rectangle, but it is inherited from the my shape. From my shape, two abstract methods are inherited, but only one calculate area is implemented. But still, calculate perimeter is abstract. Understood? From my shape, two methods are inherited: calculate area, calculate perimeter. Among those two methods, how many are concrete here? How many are implemented here? Calculate area. Only one. So, still calculate perimeter is abstract method inside my rectangle. Okay? So, even the calculate area as well as calculate perimeter from my rectangle will be inherited to the another rectangle. Now, in another rectangle, do we have any abstract methods? Yes or no? Yes. It's not directly, but it's inherited from my shape to my rectangle and from my rectangle to another rectangle. So, here we have abstract method not directly but indirectly, which is inherited from my shape to my rectangle. This method will be inherited from my shape to my rectangle, but it's not implemented. Still, it will be made as abstract. And again, from my rectangle, it will be inherited to another rectangle. So, it will be made as abstract. So, let me implement. Now, will it be compiled successful? Will it be compiled successful? Yes or no? Have I correctly implemented the calculate perimeter? Have I correctly implemented the calculate perimeter? Yes or no? Yes. I have correctly implemented calculate perimeter. Then, tell whether will it be compiled or not compiled. If you are telling that it will not be compiled, what is the reason why it will not be compiled? Length and breadth are private in my rectangle. See, where length and breadth are declared? Length and breadth are declared in my rectangle, but in my rectangle, length is private, breadth is private. Then, can we use this length and breadth inside another rectangle? No. So, it will be a compile time error just because length and breadth are private. Okay? Since length and breadth are private, private members cannot be used even in the subclasses. Okay? So, temporarily, let me make them non-private. Now, will it be compiled and executed successful? Yes. Definitely it will be compiled as well as executed successfully. Just because these are non-private and can be used in the subclasses, can be inherited to the subclasses, and 2 into length plus breadth, okay, will give you the perimeter. And calculate perimeter is correctly implementing just because here it is abstract double and the return type is double. The return type is double. Sorry, the return type is double. And here the access level is package, here the access level is public. So it can be acceptable to have a higher access level. So this will be compiled successful and even executed successfully. Understood how the abstraction works? Understood how the abstraction works? Now, what is abstraction? How we can define abstraction? Okay, declaring a behavior without definition is called as abstraction. Declaring a behavior without definition is called as abstraction. Declaring a behavior without definition is called as abstraction. Now, why the abstraction is used? Why abstraction is used?
For guidance.
To enforce rules to the subclasses. To enforce some rules to the subclasses, we use abstraction. To enforce rules or conditions, whatever it might be. To enforce some rules or conditions to the subclasses, we use abstraction. Why should we enforce some rules? The next question from the interviewer is, why you should enforce some rules? To maintain the integrity. So, if there is a rectangle without the calculation of the area, it will not be correctly integrated application. So, to maintain that integrity, we should enforce some rules so that all the subclasses will have the same structure or will have the same kind of method declaration. To enforce that, all the subclasses will have a similar kind of method declaration. We should enforce some rules that this method should be implemented. So, directly using the superclass reference, I can now, if I want to unplug the my circle and if I want to keep another rectangle, directly I can keep. So, with a minimal change, I am making another rectangle to be invoked. So, if you don't use the superclass reference, what happens? Again go for my rectangle s equal to my rectangle, and again go for s dot calculate area. So, it will act as a reference for all the subclasses, for any subclass. So, we need not to change the code very much when the application changes, as well as it will be the standard way of doing. So, using the superclass members or using the superclass references to access the superclass members will be definitely a standard way, and we should follow that approach. We should use superclass references for superclass members. Okay? And can we make a class as 100% abstract? Now, can I call this class as 100% abstract? Yes or no? No? Can we call this class as 100% abstract? Sorry. Can we call this class as 100% concrete? Can we call another rectangle, or can we call this class as 100% concrete? Can we call this class as 100% concrete or not? What I'm asking is, can we call another rectangle as 100% concrete or not? Okay, this class is 100% concrete. When we can call as a class to be 100% concrete means if it has all the members as concrete members. Now, do we have all members as concrete here? Yes, we have calculate perimeter, we have calculate area, length and breadth, which are concrete. Now, let's consider like the class is my shape. Now, can we call the class my shape as 100% concrete? Can we call the class my shape as 100% concrete? No, it is abstract. Now, can we call the class my shape as 100% abstract? Can we call the class my shape as 100% abstract? Yes. What are the members in the My shape, calculate area, calculate perimeter, and default constructor. Now, can we make the default constructor as abstract? No. Now, can we tell my shape is 100% abstract? Can we tell my shape is 100% abstract? Yes or no? Can we tell my shape as 100% abstract? What I told, if it is 100% concrete means all the members should be concrete. If it is 100% abstract means all the members should be abstract. Now, in my shape are all the members abstract? In my shape are all the members abstract? Yes. Just now we told no. There is a default constructor which cannot be. That's what I'm telling. Yeah. That's what I'm telling. There is a default constructor which cannot be abstract. Now, can I tell that this class is having 100% abstract members? No. The class is, you are telling that the class has a constructor, that is fine. And you are telling that a class is, the constructor cannot be abstract, that is fine. And what my question is, can I call this class as 100% concrete, 100% abstract class? No. Just because it has a concrete member. If it has a concrete member, how I can call that as 100% abstract? See, if I want to call it as 100% abstract, it should not have even a single concrete member. Am I right? If I want to call a class as 100% abstract class, it should not have even a single concrete member. But do we have any concrete member in this class? Do we have any concrete member in this class? Yes. Which is a default constructor. So, we cannot call this class as 100% abstract. Not even this class. We cannot make any class in Java as 100% abstract. It's impossible to have a 100% abstract class in Java. It's impossible to have a 100% abstract class in Java. Just because of the default constructor. See, even the class is having all abstract methods. In that case also, a default constructor will be provided by the compiler which cannot be abstract. Because of the default constructor, in Java, 100% abstractness is impossible for classes. 100% abstractness is impossible in Java for classes. Just because default constructor will be there for all the classes and default constructor will be concrete. It cannot be abstract. Now, can I create an object to my shape? Can I create an object to my shape? What is the use of the constructor? What is the use of the constructor? To initialize attributes. That means to write some logic when we create the object. Am I right? We use a constructor to write some logic when we create the object. Now, can we create the object to myShape class? No? Can we create the object to myShape class? No. If you could not able to create the object to myShape class, why a constructor is used? Why constructor is required for myShape? See, constructor is required only when we create an object to the class, and constructor will be executed only when we create an object to the class. If we cannot create an object to the class, why a constructor is required?
If there is no constructor, compiler will create a default constructor.
That's what I am telling. Why a default constructor should be given to abstract class? It's not like a default constructor. Even we can keep a constructor for abstract classes. See? It's not like compiler only will keep the constructor. Even we can keep constructors for abstract classes. But why a constructor should be allowed for abstract classes? If we are not using the constructor, if we cannot create the object for that class, if we cannot create the object for that class, we cannot create the object for myShape, definitely. When a constructor is used, when we are creating an object for the class. If we are not creating the object for the class, why we should allow the constructor? Why we cannot make a rule that constructors should not be allowed in abstract classes? Okay? It's a correct answer. To support the constructor chaining, constructors are allowed in abstract classes. Let's consider like if the case is if the constructors are not allowed in abstract classes, then how the constructor chaining here it is support. Let's consider that my circle is a concrete class, okay, and it has a constructor which is created by the compiler. And it has a non-argumented super. Now let's consider that my shape doesn't have any constructor. Let's consider my shape doesn't have any constructor. Now where it will be called? Where it will be referred? Let's assume that my shape doesn't have a constructor. Now this calling statement, where it will be linked? It will not be linked to any place. Super followed by parenthesis is a calling statement of the superclass non-permanent constructor. But in the superclass, if constructor is not allowed, will it compile? No. So just to support constructor chaining, okay, constructors are allowed in abstract classes. The only purpose of constructors in abstract classes is to support the constructor chaining. Understood? What's it? Understood?
See, in this case, because of the super statement, it goes to my shape. And then
Yes.
there, if it executes that my shape class, I want to know whether that is abstract class now.
Yes.
My shape.
Yes.
So it can't create an object.
See,
So if we call
is it mandatory to create an object to that class to execute the class constructor?
But
Even by making use of subclass object also, we can execute superclass constructors. Am I right? So it's not mandatory to create an object to that class to execute the class constructor. Even for subclass object creations, superclass constructors will be executed. That's what the constructor chaining is, right? Any other doubts regarding this abstractness?
Sir, can a method is 100% abstract?
Yes, obviously. See, there is no 100% or 50%. In a method is an independent block. For a method, there is no 100% or 50, say, 50 or 60%. Just because either 0% or 100%. You should ask that question. Just because there are only two options, either abstract or not abstract. But if it is a class, it can have many members. Attributes, methods, constructors. So there can be 10 members. In those 10 members, if 3 are abstract and 7 are concrete means, then we can call it as 30% abstract. But that kind of percentages cannot be determined in case of methods. Whether methods should be abstract or not. That's it. Any other questions related to abstraction? Let me list out all the things in the abstraction. Okay? Just declaring a behavior without definition is called as abstraction. Okay? Why we use abstraction means to enforce some rules to the subclasses so that the subclass methods can be invoked through superclass references. Okay? And in order to implement the abstraction, we should go for the keyword abstract. And as we told in the very first classes, abstract is an access modifier. I told in some of the first classes, like while discussing about static, we have some other access modifiers like abstract, final, synchronized, transient. All these are access modifiers. Abstraction is an access modifier. Okay? And abstract can be used only for methods and classes. Okay? And abstract, if you keep the abstract keyword for a method, then it tells that the method should have only declaration but no definition. Okay, if you keep the abstract keyword and the definition, it is a composite method. Either we should define or we should keep the classes. We should keep the keyword abstract for a method. If you keep the both, then it is a composite method. Either we should make the method as abstract or we should define the method. We should not do the both. If at least one abstract method is there in the class, then definitely the class will be abstract. Okay? And if the class is abstract, we cannot create an object for that class. And even non-private abstract methods will be inherited to the subclass. And the same abstraction rules. If the method is inherited to subclass and subclass has abstract method, so either we can make the class as abstract or we can override the abstract method. And overriding the abstract method is called as implementation. Even implementation will check for all the overriding rules. Implementation will check for all the overriding rules. Okay? And if a class is abstract, if at least one method in the class is abstract, then the class should be abstract. But an abstract class can have 100% concrete members. And 100% class, 100% abstractness for a class is impossible in Java. 100% abstractness for a class is impossible in Java. Okay? And one more thing that I forgot is abstract and static should not be used in a combination. Abstract and static should not be used in a combination. Why abstract and static should not be used in a combination? Because static methods should not be overridden, but abstract methods should be overridden for their existence. We already discussed like static methods should not be overridden, but abstract methods should be overridden for definition. These two are conflicting. Already we told that static methods should not be overridden. Again we are telling that, let me explain, let me complete. Already we have told that static methods should not be overridden. Okay? And again we are telling that abstract methods should be overridden for their existence, should be implemented for their existence. These two are conflicting things. So, abstract and static should not be used in a combination. Yes, Kristen? We can override static methods, but only using static keyword. That's what I'm telling you. We can override static methods, but only using static keyword. But are we using static keyword here? Are we using static keyword? If you use static keyword, what happens? It will become a static method for the subclass. But unnecessarily we are enforcing the static keyword. We should not enforce the static keyword unless it is necessary. We should not use the static keyword unless it is necessary. Unless it is mandatory, we should not use the static keyword. Okay? It's not like we should make all the methods as static. If we make all the methods as static, we need not to create the object at all. But static is a very expensive way of using. We should use static only if it is enforced. Only if it is mandatory to use static. Only if it is mandatory to use static, then only we should use static. Otherwise, we should not use static for all the methods or for all the attributes. If it is mandatory to make it static, then only we should use as static. Otherwise, it would be preferable to make it non-static so that only when the object is created, it is used. Okay? So, static and abstract should not be used as a combination. See, illegal combination of modifiers, abstract and static. Static and abstract should not be used as a combination. Okay? And this will complete the abstract classes. Where you are not getting?
Why we don't have abstract and static?
Why we should not have abstract and static means, in general, the abstract method, abstractness will be used for imposing some rules. Okay? And at the runtime we can override those methods. Okay, but if we make it static means, okay, it will not be. Let's consider that. Let me make it static. To explain you in brief, let me make it static and let me make this to return 10. Okay, now let me override this method using static, so it returns 20. So now what is the value printed? Will it be 10 or 20? Let me make this class as conflict class. Now, what's the value printed? Will it be 10 or 20? Will it be 20 or 10? 20. Okay, that's why the mistake is. Okay, I told clearly in the class itself, static methods. Sorry, let me comment all these classes. Now I have only two classes, my shape, my rectangle. Okay, now I clearly told in that class itself, static methods will not be involved in dynamic binding. Sorry, let me override this. Just temporarily to return some value. Now here just the calculate area is overridden in the subclass and it is a static method. But if we try to compile this and go to the classes and execute this, what happens? It is giving 20 or 10? 10. Just because as I told in the classes while discussing overriding, static methods cannot have dynamic binding. So even we are referring to the myRectangle object, is it referring to the method of the myRectangle? No. Okay. So for that reason, the static will not have dynamic binding, so we cannot have polymorphism. Okay. For that reason, what we do? We make the methods as non-static as maximum as possible. As maximum as possible, we keep methods as non-static. If it is mandatory, then only we make the methods as static, and static methods can be used using the references of that class only. We cannot use superclass references to access the subclass static methods. Okay? So these kind of problems are there with static, and static has very advantages as well as many limitations. So in order to enforce the polymorphism and in order to achieve the polymorphism, we cannot use static, just because there is no dynamic binding because of static methods. To achieve the polymorphism, we make the methods as non-static only. So if we make the methods as non-static, let me make the method as non-static. Now the calculate parameter is non-static. Okay. Now if I make the method as static, then what happens? It's illegal access. Okay. We should not use the static and abstract, just because static is not meant to be overridden and abstract is meant to be overridden. For that reason, static and abstract should not be used as a combination. And some of the guys requested that they have interviews today, so I'm leaving the class early. Do you want a class tomorrow? Okay, that's fine. We can assemble on Monday. Okay, Monday at 6 o'clock.